Right, for all Woodlands, back here in downtown Ballarat. Hughes, you've got to put the microphone the other way around. But, mate, firstly, great hospitality from the guys here at Ballarat. Outstanding.
Yeah, look, we've had a nice lunch here at the Flying Horse Tabaret this afternoon. And, mate, food was spectacular.
Yeah, we've done an interview with Rousey. That would have gone out on Friday about the sponsorship here. But it is a great brand awareness and it's a great brand association, if you like, Woodlands and Ballarat. Yeah,
look, I think for both the Trotting Club and for our stud as well, it's just it's a match made in heaven, mate.
Yeah, it is indeed, and fits the profile. Enough of that. Yearling sales are dead set about to hot up. It's starting to get very scary. This will be on the Sunday. I think it'll be the following Monday that the Woodlands Parade will be on. I reckon it's on the 20th, from what I've seen on the run sheet. But 20th and 21st will be there. And then February the 15th at Karaka. 35 lots go under the hammer.
Yeah, so our North Island Parade, Monday the 20th of January. Which I already believe is looking to be one of the bigger tours so far in terms of numbers year on year. We've already had at least 8 people through the place, 5 or 6 weeks out from the sale, which for us is a really good sign of what's to come. Normally around the Christmas New Year we might have 1 or 2 through, but the numbers so far and people looking at the yearlings 5 weeks out from the sale, people are looking well in advance at this stage.
And a couple of those people are looking for multiple people at the other end. They're giving, it's not just going in for themselves. They've got Australian interests going through those places and been a reconnaissance, I suppose.
Yeah, look, there's people there doing reconnaissance for themselves and obviously for people in the South Island and obviously in certain parts of Australia.
35 lots. You've got them. You got your little piece of paper with you or not? Or did you get rid of that one with the breakup? Do you know the breakup?
Oh, look, there are 35 lots. We've got 2 American Ideals. We've got 1 What the Hill, 2 Captain Treacherouses, 15 down by the seasides, and the balance of the lots made up after that are Bettor's Delight and Sweet Lou. So 35 in total.
Which is and it's a cracking draft. Woodlands continue to leave winners everywhere. The Woodlands bred horses, anything underneath that brand as well. So people are well and truly aware of that.
Yeah, look, year on year, week on week, just winners everywhere. I was having a bit of a chuckle to myself, like even in the snowbound places in the USA through Christmas and the early winter, early start to the new year, we're leaving winners in places like Ohio and New York still. Phenomenal year for us last year on the racetrack with our brand, and we expect a lot of these horses to cut the mustard down the track.
We do Woodlands winners weekly. Try to highlight horses. Since Christmas, we've actually we've had a bit of time off. Sudsy is absolutely starting to really burn. They're looking like they're going to be 3-year-olds and flying. He's had 2 winners. I think he actually had a Quinella at Winton, I think it was, while we were away. So he's hitting the ground running, which is great.
Yeah, look, his back end, November, December's been really strong in Australia and New Zealand. He had 2 winners on New Year's Eve in Australia, 1 in New South Wales and 1 in WA. Quinella that race just after Christmas in Southland, and ironically both out of Bettor's Delight mares, so really closely bred, 3x2. So anyone with a Bettor's Delight mare, have no hesitation in going to lather up. But yeah, look, he was a great horse at 2 back end, but at 3 and 4 he was at his peak. And it just seems to be reflected in the way they're going at the races that's where they're going to be. I can't wait to see his 3 and 4 year olds, mate.
High speed horses. Debbie Lincoln, high speed filly. She's tough enough too. There's no problems there. But those 2 horses at Winton come from last and second last and just circled the field. And the winner, Brett Gray's horse, I think it was, won very, very comfortably on that occasion. The other one is Benny, What the Hill. He's doing an outstanding job, again, leaving multiple winners everywhere, Australia, New Zealand. He's continuing to do the job. He has the journeyman horses. He has horses that go in 5s and 6 wins now, and that. But we can't forget horses like Bet and Win, Love Me Too. Anyone that saw Love Me Too last week at Bendigo and the Aldebaran Park Murray Mile, like he was savage in the line.
He was.
He's got high class horses. He also had the Derby winner last year, which was a filly. He's doing an outstanding job. People just can't see it for whatever reason.
Oh, look, the trotting market's a real patchwork quilt, as we've talked about in the past. Mate, his numbers stack up. Really good winner at Melton last week out of Claudie's Princess. Sat in the chair. Just been acknowledged with the best 2-year-old trotter in Ohio at the end of the season, Mocker Hill. Ronnie Burke's got some serious trotters by him as well. Getting winners everywhere. Not a lot of them on the ground in Aussie. Like everything, the Australians are always a little bit slow to the party where the New Zealand stallions are concerned, but they seem to chime in late. But, you know, you can't knock the job he's doing.
No, definitely can't. Down by the seaside, what a 12 months it's been for him. We were singing his praises this time last year, trying to tell people to listen to us. I think Bardo eventually has. He took a while to drop on, but no, singing his praises, and people are really now starting to sit up and have a look at these horses. You know, probably headed up by Coastal Babe, but there's so many other, and fillies, wine lists, horses like this that have got a great future going forward.
Yeah, look, I think, and we've always spoken about this horse, and I've told you, everybody 18 months the last 2 years, that the numbers for us were always going to come to pass. And that started to come to pass in the last 18 months. Group 1 winners in Australia and New Zealand in his first 3 crops. Sales Series winners in his crops in Australia and New Zealand. One of the telling points for me as well, and at the back end of his career in Australia, his 2-year-olds this year in Australia, he's finished 6th on the size list. At one point he was about 16th. And in the last 3 months, his progeny roared from about 16th to about 6th. He's beat up a horse like Poster Boy, who everybody was raving about at the start of the year, made more money than him on less horses to the races. Oaks winners, ticking so many boxes, and I went through Ronnie Burke's list the other day for his 2-year-olds in North America this year coming, and oh my God. They're all Seasides and Lose, mate.
And we've seen what Adam Bowden, Diamond Creek, they still have the Seaside parties. They absolutely love them. So that's terrific. Cobram Pacing Cup winner last week. I encourage the New Zealanders, if you haven't seen it, a horse called Sir Lou for Craig Turnbull, and that having his 4th start. It wasn't one telling Cobram Cup. There's probably been more significant winners, if you like, over the journey. But for a horse to have had its 4th start in a race, sat in the breeze, and beat a cup field, he's a horse with a really, really big future. It's great to see Craig and Abby, and I'm in all sorts of trouble because I've forgotten the wife's name, but great to see them having a nice horse. This is a horse of the future, but he's just ticking every box.
Yeah, look, a homebred out of a Courage Under Fire mare, and a horse that...
Rebecca.
You've got to remember Beck, mate. Otherwise you'll be in all sorts.
I will be.
3 starts at Wagga. Actually, sorry, I had one in Melbourne, then I think he went to Wagga and won 2.
Went 52 the night I was there.
Very, very high cruising speed horse. Looks to me like, going to be a genuine metro horse down the road. But to transition out of 3-year-old racing at Wagga to sit in the chair and win against a Cobram at start number 4 against horses that had 30 and 40 starts and had been round the block a bit was some sort of win, and you look forward to seeing him in the nice 4-year-old races. Lou just continues to be a juggernaut, mate, and one thing for us and for the farm and for the decisions we've made bringing him down a long time ago, champion 2- and 3-year-old sire in Australia last year, back-to-back 3-year-old champion sire in Australia, Sweet Lou. So there was a lot of hard yards done with him, a lot of tough decisions made, but we backed him, we stayed the course. We're reaping the rewards, and so are the people that are bred to him. And
people just want him everywhere.
They want him now. Look, I can literally tell you his book's nearly done for next year already.
And there's not a stack of them. Interesting enough, in the sales, there's only 3 fillies in that sale in New Zealand. So that's a huge opportunity that, that's how people are looking. They want them to keep them as fillies for their barns later on.
Well, they want to, because everyone's going to need a nice outcross filly in their barn, and that's what Lou offers. Betters
Delight. We don't have to talk too much about Betters Delight, but people need to be aware. Horse called Marketplace, 26-2 first quarter from outside the front line at Addington, and then still ran away from a high-class field. Mwanga, he's leaving 2-year-olds, he's leaving old horses. Don't worry about the trotters. He's even left trotters over the journey. He hasn't done one for a while. He must be about due. He must be about due for one. Age is no barrier to him. Again, Australian Horse of the Year, Sire of the Year, again this year for, I think, the 12th year in a row. Is that right?
Year number 13.
13th year
13th all-age stallion in Australia, 14 consecutive stallion titles in New Zealand. And as we said before, there are no words for him. He's been 7 times Australian 3-year-old champion sire, 2 times 2-year-old sire. In New Zealand this year, leading 3-year-old and 2-year-old sire. Yeah. And the staggering thing about him, leading 3-year-old sire in North America last year and leading all-age sire. So if you were to tick the boxes on all-age 2 and 3-year-old across the 3 jurisdictions, Bettor's Delights filled 6 of those podiums.
Yeah.
Quite staggering. Sweet Lou the other 2, and Captain Treacherous is a leading 2-year-old sire in North America this year.
Yep.
So literally our boys have won 8 out of the 9 titles in the last 12 months across the world.
Yep, there's no mistake in the job Treacherous has done. He's a son of Sun Beach. Seaside's that same cross.
Yep.
Not a grandson, they're sons of his, and that's the big difference.
Yep.
Woodlands winners will be back. Usually we'll be probably shifting more to the yearlings to try and highlight some of the yearlings and the progenies out of these yearlings, but the service fees, those services are still going. People still want to get services. We are still up and running at the minute. Go through to Australia Day.
Yeah, we've got half a dozen collects to go. So last day of the season will be January 24th, so Friday fortnight. 6 collects to go. And look, it's been a good season. A lot of mares in foal. We're grateful to everybody that's supported us again and gone down the road and supported the New Zealand sires. Their position in this part of the world in Australia, is front and centre for a lot of people, which is terrific. So thank you to everybody that supported our boys again this year. Thanks to all our workers as well. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Hughesy, well done. Thank you very much for joining me. Outstanding sign. Well done to the guys at Ballarat. It's magnificent. It's going to look awesome on the night. There's a little picture down a bit lower. I'm not allowed to show because the grass hasn't been cut. So unfortunately, I've done some footage, but I'm not allowed to use it. But it's going to look amazing here on next Saturday night for the Woodlands Stud Ballarat Pacing Cup. So time-honoured race. Well done to you guys. Thank you very much to Woodlands as well. 2025 is going to be bigger and better, and well done to you guys. And also from the industry's point of view, thank you for putting back into these races and sponsoring and supporting harness racing on both sides of the ditch, which is what we need to do, mate.
Yeah, no, look, we're always grateful to give back. The industry's given us a lot. We're prepared. We always go down the road, and I was just thinking about driving up here today. We have relationships now in Victoria with 7 Victorian harness racing clubs across the state.
Plus Wagga, which is just over the other side.
Plus Wagga, Menangle. We do stuff in Tasmania, Queensland, WA, South Australia. So we're across every jurisdiction in this in Australia.
Yeah, mate. Thank you. I'll catch up with you next week for Woodlands winners. As I said, we'll still be doing the stallions, but we'll probably move it a little bit into some of the yearlings as well and highlight some of those. Thanks very much.
Look forward to it. Thanks, mate.